Welcome back to Ship of Fools. Last time we managed to finish a run with Jules on brightness 2. As a tradition, we're gonna switch the characters, because otherwise it's gonna be boring to see the same one each time. Also, you see a different playstyle. So we finished Todd, we finished Gil, and we finished Jules. So we're probably gonna take with Angus this time. So he's mainly focusing on Pierce, on deflect and reflect. So we're gonna look forward to paddle stuff, like effects on paddles. And the brightness we set the last time on 3. I'm gonna switch to the power shot again, because it's my go-to. And we're also gonna switch up the boat this time to the Siren's Call, which is my personal favorite. The Siren's Call is basically a recycler on its own, and you can do really fun runs with it. So we're gonna look forward to find some decent stuff. The ammunition of the Siren itself, the Siren's Call itself, has random effects on it. So they're not the best, but they're pretty fun. And we're probably gonna go for the artifacts, or like for the treasure, for the artifact and then the ammunition. So yeah, here you see the first difference of the brightness 3, because these are Act 3 enemies, which you see on their black color, and that they look way stronger than everything else. And from here on we have to carry the gun to each side, because otherwise they gotta be too strong. Like, the sentry turret can't keep up anymore with them. So that's already a bit of a difficulty improve. And now the game is gonna be a bit more stressful, because we have to prioritize the stuff while multi-managing different stuff too. As we already see here, it's a bit more stress intense. We need to prioritize certain stuff, like pushing these spiders away. The money in the water, I see it, but from now on it's more surviving and defeating enemies than getting more money, especially only like 25, which is not worth to take damage this early in the stages. So yeah, this was, for example, a bad priority from myself. Here's also where the smacking away from the enemy comes in clutch. So at this point you should be pretty good at it alone, because otherwise you're just gonna get hit a lot more times than it's necessary. We also push away the bomb so it doesn't explode. So the first map, and we already see a bit of a difference, and those encounters are gonna rack up the higher we go with the brightness. So this time it's gonna be pretty rare, but later it's gonna be pretty often that we encounter them. And it's more often than not that we do encounter them. And so we're gonna take the Dandruff for our well. So now we can basically recycle. We're gonna open the chest, get some good stuff. We're probably gonna take the ice cubes, because the freeze effect is really good. I would like to take the laser pointer, but since we didn't pick up enough money, we're gonna go for the ice cubes. And I'm probably gonna use it because it has more damage, but I'm gonna load the sentry gun, so that the enemies are always gonna be frozen. That's gonna be hit by the sentry turret when I can't when I don't have time to look at it. But yeah, I love this artifact. Obviously later we're gonna get rid of it again, because it's only good to a certain point of the game. But for the beginning it's quite nice, and the tentacles is also good. I thought already about what we would basically recycle in this case. But since this is quite good, we keep it. Also, taking 1 damage here is not the end of the game. Like, we can take up to 3 to 4 damage early. So we do not need to go for wood right now, or anything like that. So yeah, this was the deflect of my ability. This was the first time I actually achieved it on this account. Also because I didn't have it unlocked before. So the hatchet we keep, because it's pretty good if we find more eggs. If we don't find eggs, we can still recycle it, because you can recycle everything with this one, as we can do with the normal recycler. So we're gonna see if we're gonna find some egg stuff and gonna be able to go crazy with it. So yeah, also I like the shells from this one, but in duo play they're way more fun because you can coordinate each other. In single play they're just not that good, and we're gonna just use all 3 of them. It's a waste because they would heal free, but I don't want to give anything up currently. Not for wood. So yeah, we try to kill the spider fast so that the toads don't attack. There's another one. There's probably a big fly too. So yeah, while in the first few brightnesses we could basically chill on one side of the map and just let the sentry turret, let the game. We see on brightness 3, once the enemies of the 3rd act start to hit, you have to do a lot more multitasking. And we're gonna go for the ammunition to hope to find a bird. That's why we don't take the curse, even though I appreciate to take it. So we're gonna take this one, and then we're gonna take this one. Maybe there's another one. I think you can hit up 5 chests in total here, if you're really lucky. Like sometimes on the right corner, on the right upper corner there's a chest, but usually if you hit like 2 or 3 out of them, 4, like all 4 if you're like 2 players, it's really good. So yeah, we're gonna ditch this one. The bird is really good. Like the ice bird with the hatcher is gonna be amazing. And we're just gonna go for the ammunition again. And see how's everything is going. Like here X starts to be really useful because the enemies are clustered up. So the X help you a lot. There's gonna be one more on the left side. Oh, and on the front. But these are usually pretty similar. Like they don't change that much. So we're still gonna go for ammunition. If we find another egg, we can replace the normal shot. Just gonna take this. So yeah, here eggs are just superior. Because you don't have to worry, and here you saw the advantage of the bouncing effect. If you properly deflect. So we're just gonna focus on deflecting here. And the reason why And the reason why deflecting here is more important for me than just killing them, even though it would be easier, is because there's a stage, this one is bad, is because later there's gonna be a stage where the map is the same but the enemies are Act 3. So they also gonna attack a lot faster and you have to focus a lot more on deflecting because it's just almost impossible to be attacking, because they attack just way too fast. And yeah, the harder it gets, obviously, the more I stumble upon. The more I stumble, because I'm... yeah, we keep it. Because the more stressful it is and the more I need to concentrate, obviously. So basically, if I don't talk at all, you see that it's quite challenging. Which is probably gonna happen like in the last brightness part. Because it can get really, really stressful. Which is good, because I rather like the challenge. I don't want a game that you can finish, which is basically made co-op, but you can finish it alone because it's just not hard enough. Like there are a few games where I'm like, they're not that difficult, even thought I played alone. So yeah, also we're gonna go for deflect. Gonna see. Power shot comes in clutch again, because it just lets us freeze him a lot better. Take this back. So the bosses usually don't change that much, also. As soon as they start to attack faster and get a lot more HP, because that one scales, then the bosses become really stressful. But in generally, they are not gonna change that much. I'm just gonna deflect now because they're gonna attack melee and I just can't finish them. So yeah, that's the first boss. We're gonna see what we find. For me, I'm probably gonna recycle now the cone, because we have so much freeze that the cone is basically useless, and we have 3 tendrils now. This one gives 5 damage to harpoons, which is not what I'm looking for, so we're also gonna recycle it again. More battle damage would be nice in some cases, but currently I want something damagey, or that my axe have bounce effects. So we're gonna pick up the last tendril, because we don't need it anymore. Yeah, this is a pretty good setup. Now we have another recycler, and we're gonna recycle now this one to see if we find a better artifact. The clock we don't want. And this one is... we obviously don't want. We don't want 10 more damage on our harpoon shots, because we don't look forward to using our harpoons as damage. But yeah, we still take it. We're gonna try to replace it pretty fast. So here we go probably for the bottle and the question marks and then the trinket. The trinkets are probably we're not gonna get because the storm starts now to be more aggressive towards trinkets. So we just go for the artifact and hope to find something better. We see what maybe the mermaid wants. So yeah, this is why we kept the bounce effect, because even the sentry tower is pretty good with it. And with the hatcher, obviously. Take the bottle, we refill it, we refill you, take the bottle. So at this point, it shouldn't feel too unnatural for you to get used to when you can deflect stuff, when enemy flinch, I'm gonna say, like when you crit or on crabs when you deflect them, like such stuff should feel natural at this point for you. It's gonna make the game a lot easier, and then you can beat up to higher difficulty. But if it doesn't feel natural, stay on this rank and not learn it, but try to get the feel for it so it feels natural for you. So we didn't take the toucan because we have the ice egg, and we don't need it. We obviously, that's what I mean with it's gonna go for the trinket anyways, the storm. But we're still gonna go for the chest, the artifact, and then we're gonna see. Because if it doesn't feel natural for you currently, you need more practice for your timing, which isn't a bad thing. It took me like a few tries to beat my first time beating the game. Because every new game you need to get used to timings, you need to get used to mechanics. Yeah, we take harpoons, fire on our harpoons, even though I don't want it particularly. It's also always the irony in the game that if you don't play Gil, like the harpoon girl, you're gonna find harpoon stuff, and if you play Gil, you never find harpoon stuff. So yeah, we take these chests. Maybe I can still get this one, yeah. That's just always the natural curse. So sometimes what I did was to take Gil just for fun, to find not harpoon trinket, because I was like, yeah, it's gonna be funnier like this. Which makes her not that good, but it's still funny. So we're gonna replace the harpoon artifact with the toucan, which we found ironically. Is he necessary? No, but we're still gonna take it. The metal plating we also like. And we're just gonna continue, see what artifact we find. So we're always gonna replace the toucan, no matter what's gonna happen. So these enemies, I'm warning already, like this is a very evil stage. Because if your eggs aren't bounted in this point, the Kraken can really break the whole map for you. And these squids, like the Act 3 squids, always deflect. Because they always critical hit. I never seen an occasion where they were like, yeah, we're just gonna hit normally and you don't have to worry about the crit. And here is where the deflecting has to come in. So yeah, we don't want that one. My plan is to not take too much damage, to be honest. So I think it's gonna be pretty useless. So we're just gonna go for the danger, because counting wise it does make a difference. To see if we get the 2 arrows to the left side, like the choices. Because if the storm eats it, we're not gonna get it anyways. Take the harpoons. We deflect this one. Because also the later we go, basically my anticipation, and that's just because I played the game for now I think 2 years, is that every shot from crabs is a critical hit, every shot. So we're always gonna be deflecting them, and we're always gonna see we're always gonna wait out their shot, because our priority is always gonna be in single player mode deflecting over attacking, because we have this one. I said it's bad and it is bad, but with the deflecting, it's hard to describe, but if an enemy deals you 1 damage, the enemy has a way better trait made than you, because that's just the way it is. You have only a certain amount of HP, like the last bolt is gonna be the toughest one, where you have only 1 HP, so you always look for defending cost. So this is one of my favorite jobs, because we just have to spend wood, and wood is damage, and we use it to buy the drink and the bottle, because we're gonna see the drink is in general good, and the bottle we're gonna see how the bottle is gonna be useful. If we find like a guy that gives us the stuff back that we dropped in the ocean, so we get our recycler back. And that's what I meant, like if you are too focused on attack and you wouldn't be ready to repel that attack, you would have taken a critical hit there. Which, I know it's gonna sound stupid, which is like, oh, it's only 1 hit. But later, we need to think that attacks deal increased damage. So 1 hit is basically 2 damage. So that makes our 10 HP to 5 HP. And 5 HP is a lot less and a lot more susceptible to losing the run. Because, yeah, it's a lot easier to take only 5 damage than 10. And yeah, here the bouncing was insanely good. I expected to take a hit fully. I was aware, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take a hit. But here you see how much the bouncing actually does. Because it prevented him to attack us consistently. And yeah, we got still the choices to make. I was really surprised, I thought this is gonna be eaten the first time. But it wasn't. And now we get to make a choice. So oil eggs or fire ammunition, and we're gonna go for the oil eggs, and we're gonna replace the toucan one. So if you're surprised, if you hear like a cranking sound, and you are wondering what the hell that is, that's basically my power shot. Like, I don't know why, but it sometimes has a audio bug. I missed, that's not good. But it has sometimes an audio bug where it just keeps charging. And it never stops charging. Like I had this on a few occasions where it sounds like I was always charging my my power shot even thought I wasn't anymore. So there's gonna be somewhere, yeah, enemies are still spawning. So we just shoot in the middle of the enemies because I knew that they would one-shot them. And I knew that they would bounce off to the pufferfish. Also, the more of the rubber birds you have, the more bouncy they become, which is gonna come insanely funny. So yeah, we missed the question mark. Fine by me. It was just, if I'm gonna get it, it's gonna be better. If not, I expected this to not get it. So here we're gonna deflect both of them. Gonna try to freeze the claw. But that's also what I mean with it has to feel natural towards you. The deflecting. Because here you don't have much time off. Timing wise, if you can't do this one, you don't have a second chance to pray that you're gonna get the deflect timing down. It should just feel natural at this point for you. Otherwise you can practice it. Because if I stay like this and it's just not gonna be good runs from now on. I don't have a better way to describe it. Alone, I'm gonna say. I have to say alone because in multiplayer you get it pretty far without. Like if one is good enough to carry the second person, not gonna say that it was like this, but it makes it a lot easier. Sweet. My actually hope is, but it's not gonna happen I guess. So the second phase of the boss is due to the bouncy egg a lot faster, weirdly enough. Because as they're gonna like spawn next to each other or show up next to each other, the bouncy egg is gonna bounce between them. And you're gonna see it here that the damage is gonna be suddenly a lot higher than what it was before that. We wait and sometimes they spawn like this, which is unfortunately, but we still. Yeah, now our timing is a bit messed up, but I think we're gonna freeze this one, yeah. So you can also freeze the claws completely, but they're gonna be frozen a lot shorter, and it's a lot harder to keep it on. Here we just have to deflect, there's no other way. So yeah, as we slowly dive deeper into the brightness, or higher, I think it shows the importance for me, for example, to keep my boat healthy. So that's just prioritization you evolve the longer you play the game. Of course you don't have to prioritize your HP, but how should I describe it? If you don't do it now, you're not gonna do it later, and later it's just more backbreaking. So we take the Tendrils because we don't have our recycler anymore. So he wants an artifact, which I don't want to give him any. I want my wood. You always get wood, I think it's already in the third brightness you see that one. So my thought process currently is either I'm gonna duplicate the rubber bird and the abyssal drink to get more shots and more bounces, or I'm gonna do the hatcher and the abyssal drink and gonna replace the cubes. The thing is, the problem with the hatcher is I'm gonna replace this one. And currently my biggest worry is that I don't have enough ammunition in case if the last boss survives longer, because as we see already the HPs are bigger, the HP pool. So the problem might be because he's gonna put off ammunition and artifacts during each stage, the longer the stage goes. So if he puts down both hatchers or either birds, and I have to defend enemies, I'm not sure if I can put them on and still not take critical damage, if that makes sense. Because that's a case I would see how to lose the run, for him to block both of these ones, and me not being able to recharge the gun fast enough. Small tip here, if the birds, if the small birds, I have to clarify which birds, get the exclamation marks above their heads, they are charging at your bolt. So when they get the exclamation mark, so that was the case where you saw, for example, the bounty egg advantage into hitting multiple enemies which have probably made damage. But with the bounty eggs and the proper timing, we were able to defeat them without any problems. So we do a bit of counting here. So this is 1, the shop is 2, question mark is 3, and then we can still take the trinket there. Because on the right corner, if it's still not clear, that's the storm timer. Usually takes 3 moves for it to advance. Again, the curse, for example, makes it advance in one day or 1 move. We already seen how that one was. Just gonna deflect it back. So yeah, the deflection stuff also works on enemies that are on your boat. So there are maps where penguins jump on you, and if you shoot one at them, it's really funny because they just bounce all over the map. Yeah, we take the D2. Oh, like 5% more crit is nice. And this is what I was here for. So, if you're wondering the flames that the dead enemies drop on you, they always fly towards you. There are cases when you have like 20 of them and they all die and you just stand in the middle and you deflect them, and it feels like you are out of 300, like between the hail of arrows. So that's really fun. So that feels really fun. So what I actually would like would be the pearls, but I can't because I have 10 coins too little, which is kinda sad. But I'm gonna take the flying fish, because there's nothing else I could buy anyways. Also, I love the little details that they have, like Jules were more jumping, like he was underwater. And Angus has his deflect not with a paddle, but with his little light. So that's just cute little details that makes the game even more enjoyable than it is already. So for the purse, if we could have purchased it, we would have. switch the ice cubes. At this point the ice cubes are the get rid of. The go-to to get rid of, basically. We take the chest because it has priority. We take this chest because priority. Maybe this one? Yeah. So we got 3 out of 4, which is fine. Also, I want to say, if enemies jump on your boat, for me, like the little so that was the map with the deflecting. It wasn't all over the map, but it was pretty far. So enemy, from prioritization to enemies, penguins for me are really not that important as the little shells, because the shells are just more tanky, weirdly enough, and they how should I say it, like the penguins lay fire, which isn't immediately damage, and that's the big difference. Immediate damage is always so yeah, that was a pretty good deflect. There we see the strength of Angus. So the threat of immediate damage is for me always more important than the penguins, which slide through your map, they stun you, like through your boat. Which, yes, they can stun you, but the fire still takes damage. Like, it still needs time for it to deal damage to your boat, and you can usually move like this and immediately extinguish it. I think, is this another? Yeah, it's another one of the chests, which is really nice. Sometimes you have boring maps like this too. It's there's a variety of stuff. So we have the choice of either going towards the chest or to take the shell again and everything we dropped in the ocean. Which I don't think it's necessary, because we don't have denders here. Maybe we get one of these ones. Nope. We take this one. I see the enemy on the bottom. I'm just stalling a bit more time. So maybe we get more chests. So now here we're just gonna deflect and let the sentry turret hit them. While I am greedy and go for the chest. Because I know that the sentry turret not deals with them, but keeps them enough distracted so I have time to pick everything up, take the loot. Yeah, reflecting is pretty good. I deal less damage with deflecting. That's just Angus's power. But I have Pierce and Homing. That's why they go crazy, obviously, sometimes. But I take double damage. So the chest we take because we either have a question mark or an artifact to go for in the best case, and in the worst case we just go straight to the boss. It's basically a win-win-win situation. So we got a bomb, a resonance bomb, which I really don't want. So yeah, we're just gonna go straight for the boss. There's no point to go to the bottom one, because it doesn't contain anything good, like special. So yeah, we're at the third boss. My favorite song, along with the final boss, music-wise. So the weird thing is with the egg, the bouncy egg itself, we actually would like both of his body to spawn at the bottom or wherever we are, because as with the claws, projectiles bounce between body parts. So pretty standard stuff here. So we're gonna smack them away because they would hit the boat. So we just let the sentry turret try to beat the upper part. I didn't have the stress to do that because in this angle you can still do it, and with the power shot the damage is quite high. So we're gonna try to kill both of them, and so this stage is the hardest one. I'm gonna be straight up with you. In this stage, nice. If in this case, your coordination with your partner or alone doesn't sit a hundo, I lost a few runs just to this combination of the stun that he has going around him, and around 6 birds just hitting your boat. So theoretically we also saw why fire and penguins are higher rated than the little seashells. Because the fire just doesn't extinguish by itself. You have to go there manually and you have to smack it. But if this one sits already, you still have time to extinguish it. But the fire also never stops, so that can be more of a threat. So we're just gonna sell the wood that we got. And we're just gonna take the egg grenade, because I think it's pretty good. And yeah, this looks like a pretty good setup. In case, if I would have still a recycler, let's say theoretically I never got an artifact, and I would have enough damage to recycle stuff, I would recycle this, probably this one, and this one. So if anyone would have troubles, these are like the trinkets that are the worst one. And that one you could get rid for much better stuff, because we also see this build is basically a lot on attack speed and a little bit of eggs. Like this is by far not the egg heaviest thing. I don't have the egg stuff unlocked yet, so. But we see already the problem with the damage and how much the third boss already had. So yeah, this is gonna be a bit more challenging now. Here I try to see, like this boss freezing completely is insanely tough. So we just try to slow him down so he doesn't teleport all over the map. So yeah, this is the first time when we see that I didn't defeat him immediately. So now we have to deal with his minions. So he's straight here. So yeah, I'm just gonna shoot this one slow because I want him as slow as possible. So we let him head in the bottom, we use And it was what I was meaning in the beginning when I said that I'm not used to enemies exploding in front of my boat, because here you see you can clearly smack them a lot more, and they just don't explode next to your boat. Which is basically, they are stronger, but that makes the game easier for me. Also this time you can hear that the music actually gets a lot better each stage, because it speeds up. So as we see here that he's gonna avoid the player in the future. And this is what I meant with that the trinkets are gonna go down now. The hatcher is still a lot better than the... Is still a lot better than the ice cube. Ah, that wasn't the best one, but he still hit me. So he's also gonna get a lot faster with the teleportation, as we clearly see here. So we're probably not gonna be able to hit with the power shot at all. So now we're just gonna deflect. And that's what I mean when I say it feels like out of 300 when you're just deflecting, like when you get a hail of arrows to you, or in this case, fire. So the last phase, like when he's this low, he's also... Okay, we managed to do it just in time. Because he's also not moving. And he's gonna be in the... like above our boat the whole time. Which makes him, if you're strong enough, you can still finish him off without having to worry about the minions that he summons. So yeah, we just... And at this point he just awaits us at all costs. Which is kinda logical, because we're about to defeat him again. So we take this, we take this. So my rule for this stage is usually if you're at this stage, you can lose the game immediately. Like there's no, because okay, we cleared the coast so far. So I took there basically I think like 6 damage or whatnot. And that the curse, that the ammunition was basically also taken off, didn't increase, like didn't make it much easier. I could have obviously switched it, but well, I miss everything. But that's also, as you see, it can become quite stressful. And I think we have one more stage. Yeah. But this time, we're just gonna wait for the toads to pop up. Ah. Yeah, that was my worry. I knew the moment that I saw him next to my boat that he would probably do it. So yeah, as we see, he clearly avoids me at all costs. But I think, yeah, this is enough. So that was a small sample case of having a run, which isn't bad, but there was no damage item, and that was the big problem. There are like artifacts that would have helped us, there would have been trinkets that would have helped us, but as funny as the bounty egg and the full attack speed is, we clearly saw the disadvantage there. Like, it takes so long to kill enemies. When you get swarmed and your only egg build is reliable, is reliant on, does rely on birds that you have on your boat. This stage is quite difficult, because later we're gonna take the character that lays eggs automatically, because he interacts with artifacts anyways by himself. But this was like a lot tougher than the last few runs as we've seen. And the next one might be easier, it depends on what we get, but that's the beauty about roguelikes. We can get good runs, we can get bad runs. For me personally, with the power shot, for example, the easiest way to defeat the boss would be with the, like, 3 times the artifact that deals 30% more damage. And then the light burst, for example, because the power shot basically take advantage of the 10 shots you have, then the 90% that's increased, and with the light burst, the added damage. So that's the disadvantage with the power shot. Cause yeah, if you have a lot of attack speed, it just doesn't work out the way it should. So the next one is enemies can spawn with armor. That's nice. These ones still apply, obviously. So there's still gonna be enemies, darkness enemies, so Act 3 enemies, with armor in the next run. And unfortunately I already spoiled the next one. We're just gonna go to Otto to see the new ship. So we don't have to do it the next time. So we're gonna ring it. He's just saying that he made a new boat. And tells us a ironically sad story about his dad, wanting him to be, his dad not being here. But this is the toughest boat, straight up telling you, if you look at the stats for a second. The Red Scourge has the fish eyes, which are bouncing or pierce, I don't remember. But they're like insanely good ammunition. But you have to put in the tendril here, that's already in here. And you basically have 2 hits to not die. And you can also use it as like a burst, but then you use 1 HP basically. On this boat you also can't get wood, as it shows you next to the wood, and like any shields or wood does help. So this one is gonna be the toughest. The next time we're not gonna play it, because the artifact here unlocks at 7. So with 7 we're gonna jump in here. Because the rest are already beaten on higher stages. Like the Stormrider already on 10, I think. So we're probably gonna go next time to the Wavehog again. Yeah, the Wavehog, then the Sirens for the Trinket. Then the Stormrider again, and then we're gonna go to the Red Scourge. And the Red Scourge is gonna be a lot tougher than everything else. But I'm gonna look forward to it. I hope you enjoyed, and bye bye.